Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Thursday the 28th of September. I'm Nigel Croft. In this video we'll be looking at the charts of 2 UK stocks and 2 US stocks. In the UK we'll be starting with RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, and then we'll be looking at RPC, the plastics group. Both charts look good. And then we'll move over to the States and we'll look at Citigroup, which broke to a new high yesterday. The charts look good. And we'll also look at the next tech stock out of the fangs, NFLX. Let's look at those charts. So starting with Royal Bank of Scotland, and this is the weekly chart. So each bar, each candle represents 1 week's trade. You can see that this week the the high on the week has been above the high of the week on the 31st of July. So we've broken the pattern of the downtrend which had been in place, and that's now confirmed as a flag and really is indicative that further upside should be expected. It was good that 2-3 weeks ago we went back below the 20-week, which did cause some resistance, but we've got back above that. That's now turning back upwards. This rise on the RBS price has come with positive momentum. You can see that the RSI down here has broken its downtrend and has moved back above 50, 59.37, which is good. The MACD, a bit of a lagging indicator on a weekly, but the short term is marginally below the longer term, but is moving up, and we should, if the market holds up next week, we should see a cross there as well, which would be positive, indicative of positive momentum. Moving on to the daily, you can see the break upwards that we had yesterday. Each candle now represents 1 day. We've pulled back today, but don't be concerned by that. There could even be a gap to be filled. If we go below the low of yesterday, 264.24, we're likely to fill the gap down to 262.42. Be aware of that, but that does not affect the bullish picture after the downtrend was broken. For the positive, the 20-day is about to cross the 50-day in a golden cross, which would be very good. You can see we did have a bearish cross here, but the 200-day came to the rescue of RBS and it bounced from there, and that's a continual longer term feature on this chart. You can see that on the break yesterday, the RSI reached a high, which is very good. It's pulling back today, but still well above 50, 61.45, and the MACD as well are indicative of positive momentum as they're both above 0. On the 4-hour chart, so each candle here represents 4 hours. You can see that it does look like we potentially are going to fill the gap down to as I said, 262.46, somewhere around there. You can see that the rising 24-hour average is at 262.11. This is the yellow line. That would give support if we pull that far back. You can see that the other moving averages are now moving up, and we're about to get a golden cross as the 50 crosses the 200. Here as well, it was good on the high that the RSI reached a high. It has broken down, starting to create a downtrend, slight concern, but it's well above 50 on the RSI, 59.4, and the MACD short term is still above the long term, although the differential is narrowing. So overall on Royal Bank, yes, it might drift to fill the gap, but overall I think it does look good. Now moving on to RPC. Here we have the weekly, and you can see it breaking upwards, going into resistance, but the moving averages, the 20 will cross the 50 over the next few weeks, which will be positive, and that might give the push that's needed to break that resistance. You can see that there's positive momentum from the RSI and from the MACD. On the daily, so each candle here represents 1 day, and you can actually see that we're having a very good day today, breaking up from the rising 20-day moving average. We did get a golden cross on the 20 crossing the 50 way back on the 26th of July, and that 20 has been the positive influence since and has held the market support in early September and last week, which is good. You can see the resistance that's coming up from early in 2017, from January. I would expect that to be tested. Obviously the £10 is a big number. You get big number syndrome around there, and that was probably the problem back in early February. But with the momentum in the markets, there's a chance it could get broken, but a move up to £10 should be expected on this daily. And on the shorter term, the 4 hour, you can see we found support at the 50 on the 4 hour on numerous occasions. Bounced up. Very good that the 20 and 50 are so close together on the bounce. RSI again reaching a new high, which is good. Very positive indication of upside momentum, and the MACD as well above zero, and just starting to shout a buy as the short term moves above the longer term. So again, indicative of further upside. Okay, moving across to the US stocks. Citigroup was helped yesterday by Trump's lower taxes for corporates. That helped the banking sector, and you can see that Citi did move to a new high, which was all very good. The consolidation that we had from the end of July through to the middle of September has now been confirmed as a flag, and we're moving into new high ground. On the weekly, you can see we're getting positive momentum from the RSI and also the MACD, where the short term has just moved back above the long term. On the daily, you can see the move up yesterday's broken us into new high ground. Very positive that we had a golden cross on the 2050 on the 14th, and also that the 50 managed to hold the decline on that flag, and we've bounced from there. Again, RSI and MACD are positive. And on the 4 hour, again, positive movements from all the moving averages, positive momentum. MACD did actually decline, but is moving back up. Just take another day of another upside day to see the short term move back above the long term. The differential is only 0.05. Okay, moving on to Netflix. Earlier in the week, we've covered the some of the other FANG stocks. We covered Facebook yesterday and Apple on Monday. So today we're covering Netflix. Here we have the weekly, so each candle represents 1 week. Potential double top, be aware of that. These two are very close together, could be a double top, so just monitor that situation. The RSI is drifting as well. We didn't get a non-confirm because we didn't reach a new high, but it could be creating a downtrend. And likewise, be careful on the MACD, which are moving together sideways. On the daily picture, you can see that we've pulled back to the moving averages. I think these are the key to the Netflix price moving forward, given this potential double top. If these moving averages don't hold, over the next few days, one will see a move down to the support at the 164 and then potentially down to the 160 level. On the RSI, you can see that also there was a potential double top recently, not coinciding with the double top on the stock, but just here another double top, and we've cracked downwards. That needs to hold above 50 to keep the positive momentum that will keep us holding above those moving averages. Presently the RSI is at 54.31. There is a warning sign just coming out from the MACD, short term below the longer term. That was across yesterday. They'll now start to move down, and that is shouting a sell, so keep an eye on that. But the key is these moving averages. Certainly if you've got a long, put a stop on the 50-day. 50-day at the moment is 178.1. And finally, moving on to the 4-hour, and here again you can see the breakdown on the RSI. Marginally, it's gone marginally back above 50 with the move that we had just towards the close last night. It's presently 50.13, but again the MACD are a concern. Here you can see the 20 average is already moving down. That will be the initial resistance. That's just below 184. So you could see over a few 4-hour periods a pincer formation between the 20 and the 50. If the 50 breaks with this downside momentum, then you switch to the daily and see if the 50-day holds on that daily chart. So that's been TA for traders. Just very quickly looking at 4 stocks. We looked at Royal Bank of Scotland, which looked good in the UK. RPC, that also looked good in the UK. Citi's breaking into new high ground in the US and looks good. Netflix, potential double top, key support at the 50-day. Keep your eye on that stock closely. Many thanks for watching. Please remember these videos are for information only, and in my opinion they're not an investment recommendation. Thank you.